My name is Will Curtis. I'm 20 years old. I moved from Maine about 9 years ago to Tampa, Florida, and been here ever since. I grew up in a small town called Cumberland, Maine, right outside of Portland, about 20, 30 minutes away. Not a lot of people. You knew everyone in your high school. So when I was a kid, I played junior Olympic volleyball. So I did that for most of my life, and then in high school, middle school time, I started playing football. In volleyball, I was a libero, and in football, I was a wide receiver and running back. So libero is basically defense. You got your setter, you have your hitter that hits the ball, and then there's the back row, and that's where the libero normally is to dig the ball from some people hitting. Well, I wasn't team captain, but I was 14 playing on the 17U team or 18U team. Wow. So of course I'd be the smallest person. Well, we moved here from Maine, where there's a lot more men's volleyball in Florida, and just playing.
When did you kind of get serious about it?
When I was younger, my sister was on the high school team, so I was kind of starting to just mess around with the ball when I was younger, but I started getting serious around elementary school time, just really starting to practice with high school girls because that was all there was in Maine. Yeah, I'd say high school. More middle school, 8th grade, I decided it's time to play football, volleyball. It was driving to St. Pete every day, 45 minutes to go to practice there and back every day, so it wasn't working out. Well, 8th grade, I started getting involved in lifting, and it was really just had a couple dumbbells in this spare room in my house, and I think all I did at first was curl the dumbbells for a song, and that was it. That's all I did. I'd say freshman year of high school, I was on the football team, so you had your strength conditioning, and really saw that there were some guys bigger than me, and I didn't really like being pushed around, so I wanted to get to their size. I'd say it was just more built for it. I love training upper body, and I mean, it was always open. No one really wanted to bench press. They all wanted to squat because it was football. So I was on my way home from football practice. I was a junior at the time. I just got my license, and my first vehicle was a motorcycle. And just on my way home from football practice one day, and there was a lady pulling out, and she stopped in the middle of the road. So I tried to avoid it and hit the car. My leg was in between the motorcycle and the car, broke in 14 pieces, and I severed my femoral artery on scene of the accident. So some gentleman stopped. He was a nurse just on his way home, and he put a tourniquet on my leg that saved my life. It was more, I don't remember much of the accident because there was so much adrenaline taking over, but when I hear stories about it, it was just my buddy, because we were all on our way home from football, so the whole football team was right behind me. So they were all like, "Don't look down," because the bone was completely out of my leg. So they were just trying to keep me calm, and then I was driven to the nearest hospital and then airlifted to the #1 trauma center close by. It was probably over the term of about 3 months that I was in the hospital, 24 surgeries total. Well, in the hospital, they were trying to keep my leg because I was 16 at the time of the accident. So nobody really wants to amputate a 16-year-old's leg. So they were really trying to do the best that they could to save the leg. It was about 2 years that I was just walking and limping, and it hurt. Like, it was breaking essentially every step that I took. But they were still trying to fix it, and it just wasn't working. So at that point, this was only about a year and a half ago that I ended up deciding to amputate it. The doctor was trying to do more surgeries because you still don't want to amputate an 18, 19-year-old's leg. So he was really trying to keep it and save it. But the #1 thing I'd say was definitely my relationship with God and how he kept me in the process and just let me know that this was happening for a reason. And I'd definitely say the gym was a good place for me to be, to just work out and be able to get out of what was going on. I mean, I was in the hospital. I probably shouldn't have dumbbells in there, but I was just, my friends brought me some dumbbells as a joke, and I mean, I'd just try and work out just to do something with it. It was basically saying, this was before they even thought about amputating it. This was the first couple surgeries. They were like, yeah, you just really won't be able to walk normal again. You won't be able to bend your knee normal. So that was a lot to take on as a 16-year-old, hearing those words.
Yeah.
It was interesting. I have a buddy who's, her dad is an amputee as well, actually a triple amputee. And it was nice having him to kind of guide me through how things differentiate. I mean, lifting, there's a ton of things that you have to be adaptive with in order to still work out. Because, I mean, I still hit legs because those need to be strong even more now that you have to compensate for missing one. Mm-hmm. So I'd say it was difficult at first walking, learning how to walk with it because it's a foreign object. You don't know how to use it. And then running, I was told I wouldn't be able to do that, but a few months ago I was able to get a running leg and start doing that again, which is something I definitely enjoy.
One leg?
Well, I have another leg. It's a powerlifting leg. It can endure a lot more weight, so maybe deadlifting a lot more. I need to train for that, but definitely Paralympic bench press. I know I talked about bench pressing earlier, how it's one of my favorite things to do. I definitely would like to do that on a much bigger scale. It was my friend's dad. He was actually in the gym, and he was getting ready for a competition as well. He was on prep, and I was kind of like, wow, you're looking really shredded, but like, what are you doing? What's the event? And he's like, oh, I do these shows. You might actually want to try this. And he referred me out to a coach that would help me with my diet and training and all that to get better with it. And that's where it started. I started my prep at the mid-2020. So all the gyms got shut down with the pandemic going on. So I was still trying to get ready for a show that I didn't even know was going to happen. So it was quite interesting doing a little home gym, just managing what I could. But I'd say I had my prosthetic for about 5 months before I started wanting to take that on. Yeah, so I have a coach now just to keep everything dialed in to make sure I'm eating right and staying on top of my diet and my training. Actually, I had to change coaches to a different one just with everything going on. I had a show coming up and I wanted to make sure I was at the top of my game. I just picked my first show. It was just the only one in Florida left before the time to qualify before the national show. And they all scheduled these shows very close together to where I had to rush my prep and get it all done in order to hit the qualifying date. I started in 2020. The end of my show was October 2020, so it was probably a 6-month prep because I had to wait a little bit in 2020 and buffer, I guess. I won the teen division of my first show, and then I got to see the men's open, and that was a whole different ballgame. It was eye-opening that everyone was recognizing it, and everyone, you think you're all competitive and very not aggressive towards each other, but definitely a competitive atmosphere, but very welcoming, and congratulations. Yeah. So it was in Orlando, Florida, just the national show, the men's national, masters and teen, and and that whole national show, and it was nice. Had a little fun time getting there to Orlando, the Orlando traffic, and then stayed the night in the hotel, and then woke up and just did it like the other show. I did. I crapped out after my first my start of my off season. I pigged out. I had some Italian lasagna, and then I had a couple Reese's peanut butter cups. Right as soon as I got to the hotel room, I got them. I'd say keeping things together now is what's motivating me, is just proving that there are no excuses when you're going through something. Everyone will go through something eventually in their life, and it's all what you have your eyes focused on as far as that goes. And it truly, however you look at things will change the way you come out of it. Well, my coach gives me a diet that I follow. So in the off season, I'll get 1 cheat meal a week, but I try and just have it's basically the same meal no matter what. So I eat about 6 meals a day. They're all the same. Going to be 5 ounces of chicken, 120 grams of rice, give or take, and then just 80 grams of vegetables, and then some almonds or peanuts for some fat. I start around 8 a.m., and depending on how long my day is going to be, I'll increment my meals about 2 hours, 30 minutes, or 3 hours, give or take. So just kind of basing it so I'm not hungry at night. So as far as my nutrition goes, in the morning I'll have a protein shake just to supplement and get myself started off for the morning. It's easier to just make a shake instead of doing eggs or prepping something when you're on a time crunch. before a workout, I'll take some pre-workout, as well as some citrulline just to get some blood flowing in your body. And then intra-workout, I'll have some BCAAs and some beta-alanine just to keep myself going. And then post-workout, I will have another protein shake just after in the car, about 10 minutes after. People can reach out to me on my Instagram. It's willcurtis19. And then I also have a YouTube channel, just Will Curtis.
Awesome, man. Hey, pleasure to have you, brother.
Thank you.
Oh, man, that's how we do an interview. Stamp. Good job, man.